Henry David Thoreau wrote, "The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation." That statement is even more relevant today than it was when he wrote it in 1854. Thoreau lived alone in the woods near Walden Pond, seeking meaning away from material distractions. He felt that people had become so consumed with material concerns, they lost touch with joy, spiritual growth, and their own purpose, which he thought could only be found in nature. It sounds to me like not much has changed in 171 years. I asked myself, what is quiet desperation? I believe it means living life comfortably, but not fully. Just going through the motions and doing the same things we do day after day. The real question is, how do we avoid this desperation? Thoreau thought that suppressing our dreams and chasing comfort leads to sadness and regret. Many of us today find ourselves in a rut or living a life dictated by circumstances or others. Our greatest pitfall is that our brains are wired to avoid discomfort. Ironically, to the detriment of our own joy and life experience. We seek to avoid all pain, emotional and physical, and take the path of least resistance. At least I did for most of my life. I didn't feel truly alive until I leaned into pain and I chased discomfort. When my wife Diana and I signed up for our first Spartan Trifecta Championship in Sparta, Greece, we invited pain, but we didn't know how much. Now, a Spartan Trifecta is running all 3 different length obstacle races in 1 year. At the World Championships, you do all 3 in 2 days, back to back to back. Stepping out of our comfort zone began with training, getting up and pushing ourselves to run and do strength training when all we wanted to do was sleep. Please. But knowing that running all 3 races, covering 31 miles and 75 plus obstacles, from heavy carries to barbed wire crawls, was going to hurt. And hurt it did. After the first day of racing, Diana's knees were so jacked up that on day 2, we were forced to walk the entire race. For 8.5 hours, up and down the mountains and over the obstacles, we kept going. We battled through the freezing river, and when darkness fell, catching us unprepared without headlamps, we were nearly lost in the olive orchards of the Greek countryside. We were cold, sore, hungry, miserable. So who would sign up for this torture? Why would we sign up for this torture, let alone, pay for the privilege? Adventurer and motivator Colin O'Brady explains it best. He asks this: if you rate each of your life experiences on a scale from 1 to 10, where 10 are those moments of absolute joy, and the 1s are pure pain and misery, what he figured out was that we don't experience the 10s in spite of the 1s, but because of them. So ask yourself, how many 10s have you truly experienced? Because the masses Thoreau may be referring to are all those people out there that are living life comfortably between a 4 and a 6. It's the fear of a 1 that keeps them from reaching for that 10. And they must settle for 4s, 5s, and 6s. But what's wrong with safely staying between 4 and 6? You're probably asking. It's simple. Pain is unavoidable. Life is full of challenges and forces painful situations on us. By regularly doing hard and painful things, we build physical and mental resilience, preparing us for life's unexpected challenges. Plus, nothing in life is for free. Pain is the price we pay to experience incredible, life-affirming moments. And the high cost of living in our comfort zone is giving up those moments. When Colin was asked, "Are you afraid of dying?" he said, "Yes, but I'm more afraid of not living." Now ask yourselves, what is a life worth living? If you want to feel truly alive and experience more 10s, you must be willing to leave your comfort zone. You're going to experience some pain, but trust me, it'll be worth it in the end. For example, the pain in our muscles, the shivering cold we were feeling, the sheer exhaustion and intense hunger we experienced in that last race, right, was replaced with joy, a sense of accomplishment, and total relief when we jumped the fire and crossed the finish line that cold November night. The feeling of that moment lives on and calls us to our next 10. 7-time Tour de France race winner Lance Armstrong said, "Pain is temporary, but quitting is forever." And I say, even worse, never starting. Your first step is to figure out what your 10 is. And keep in mind that pain and joy do not discriminate. To the beginner, crossing the finish line of their first 5K carries with it the same joy that a seasoned triathlete might feel completing their first Ironman. Time is ticking, my friends, and there's an amazing 10 waiting for you. Now go out there and do what's necessary to experience it.
Yeah.